Hi Ruby, how are you?
I'm all right. How you doing, Kat?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Thank you for taking time to speak with me today. We are here to discuss Baghead, which is out this week. For those that aren't familiar with the short and maybe have missed the trailer, what's Baghead about? Obviously, not too many spoilers.
Okay, without spoilers, essentially it's a horror film which deals with grief in a really interesting way. I play Katie, and Iris, that's the leading lady, is played by Freya Allan from The Witcher. She plays Ciri. And there's some tragic circumstances. Iris loses her father and she inherits a pub. But in the basement of this pub is Baghead. And Baghead, essentially, you're able to bring back somebody from the dead and you get a couple of minutes with them. So that's what it explores. Um, it's a really interesting idea. It was originally a short film. It was very well received, and that's how the feature film then got developed.
And you play Katie. They said she's Iris's sort of like best friend slash sister. What was it about her as a character that intrigued you to want to get involved and play her?
I liked Katie because she's headstrong. She's really caring. Um, she gets quite frustrated as well underneath the circumstances. I'm that person. Like, there's lots of people like this. You know, when you watch a horror film and you're screaming at the telly, going, "No, no!" Like, what you doing? Do you know what I mean? That's kind of Katie as a character. So I related to that. You know, she is the voice of reason, and I guess I was attracted to playing the voice of reason for once in my life because, I mean, even just in general, I'm not necessarily a very reasonable person. I'm very emotionally impulsive. So it was cool to step into the shoes of somebody that is really rational and logical, and thinks about things deeply, doesn't just act on impulse. And at the time as well, those qualities, it was something that I personally like aspired to have more in myself as I came of age personally, and sort of playing this character might sort of inform, you know, my own personal development as a young person at the time that I shot it. So
And so often in these films, the pairing, the friend isn't a friend, it's the boyfriend. It must have been, quite refreshing to sort of get this script, which is focusing on this female friendship for once, because it's like I say, it's normally a love interest, but this is very much more like a sisterly bond.
yes, it is a sisterly bond. Because Katie and Iris grew up in care together. They only really had each other. Um, And yeah, it's nice. It's nice to play into really strong female relationships where, you know, we're not sort of like pinned against each other. I think like in society in general, women are sort of played against each other a lot and always competing with one another. And it were nice because that's not really what Katie and Iris are about. It's very authentic relationship, friendship. And yeah, it's cool. It's cool. And we really got on as well. So
So it's a bonus.
yeah.
And I think sort of every actor at some point, kind of a rite of passage to do a horror film. Did you learn any particular like new skill sets working in this genre? Because it is very different to some others out there.
Yeah, yeah, I did. What was nice about it for me is I didn't really become like a martyr for my art, shall we say. When I were on this film, um, this was the most fun I ever have had um on a job. What I guess I learned, on that job off, off filming, off the stage, off the set was to not take myself too seriously, you know. And we had like a really good time, just being like silly and just daft and just bouncing off each other and having a laugh. And it did make, the whole making of Baghead really fun.
I think you need that in time, especially in horror, because you are dealing with this one's very heavily in grief. You're dealing with a lot of heavy emotions. So you need to have that sort of set and space where you can decompress afterwards and just have a bit of a giggle.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And the preparation for it as well. Because originally Katie was a singer and there was a scene that got cut. And at this time, I like singing now, but it's only something that I've recently been doing, and I was really bad like when I came to do this film, right? And there was a song that she had to sing in the original script. It was like a Cilla Black song. So when it came through, I was like, oh my God. And it's how I started doing singing lessons, because I approached a teacher to teach me how to sing. It was like it was one of her. She's a really good singer. Do you know what I mean? Um, and yeah, it was just hilarious. Like I was just laughing and crying, preparing for it, thinking this scene was going to be in it. But I ended up dropping Alberto a message and just saying, listen, my guy, there's no way I'm going to be able to sing like Cilla Black in a couple of weeks. So that got scrapped, thankfully.
And so within horror, stories dealing with grief and people coming back from the dead, it's kind of something that we've seen a lot, most recently in Talk to Me. There was that heavy aspect to it. What do you think it is about, this whole concept of being able to sort of touch the other side that fascinates us as a society so much?
Um, well, grief is something that we're all going to go through. Um, and it's hard and it's horrible. And it's a lifelong, you know, journey with different stages. And we don't fully understand life itself, death itself. Um, so it's shocking, and it touches the hearts and minds and thoughts of everybody. Do you know what I mean? It's inescapable. We can't escape it. And when we lose someone, there's something so final about death. So it's totally normal for us as humans to want to explore stuff like this, and it like and really think like, who would I bring back if I had a few minutes? Do you know what I mean? It's like there isn't a single person that if you ask that question to what the subject of Baghead is, what the stakes are, and what actually happens in this film, it doesn't capture the minds and the interests. Like, sorry, what am I saying? It captures the
Yeah.
minds and the interests of everybody, because everybody is affected by grief.
Yeah, you're right. We all have those people that we would, and that's what I think makes this specific that particular strand of genre so interesting. Is it does kind of it's not a film that you watch and leave behind. It sort of stays with you.
Yeah, yeah, like even long after it, do you know what I mean? You'd be sat thinking about it, Um, yeah, it's really cool. It's a cool idea. I mean, I lucid dream sometimes. Some people don't think it's real. It genuinely
Oh
is
no,
real.
I'm a lucid dreamer too. Yeah, yeah.
Right, so you get it. And I had one the other night. Obviously, I lost my dad at the start of last year, right? About this time last year, I lost him. And pretty much for the whole of 2023, I stopped dreaming, and therefore lucid dreaming. And that was frustrating because you can summon people in dreams, right? And the other night, I had a lucid dream. I was like, yes, because I get into it. I don't know how you realize whether it's just normal, but see, if I feel like something's off, I pinch my nose, because if you pinch your nose, you can feel the pinch, but you can still breathe. And then that's how I realize I'm lucid dreaming now. I can do what I like. But I actually got to summon my dad, which was nice. And I can't remember like everything that I said, but it was kind of cool that I got to speak to him. And I just remember being able to like say all the things that I wanted to say. Do you know what I mean? Basically, just thank you, thank you. Do you know what I mean? Um, but that's sort of the closest you ever get in real life, I suppose. So yeah, that lucid dream.
But who needs Baghead when you can lucid dream? With
Yeah. Well, hopefully loads of people watch Baghead and discover lucid dreaming.
There we go. We'll set up a company, we'll teach our ways. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I wish you best of luck with this and your future projects. I'm sure Baghead's going to do great. The horror crowd love a good scare.
Thank you. Have a good day.